Hello. I'm not looking at you right now. I'm just doing a copy and paste. I should have done that before. Hi, this is Denise, and I'm here with Noel Schwartz. And we're here for episode 11 of It's All Good. Look who's here for a chat. And today, who I have for a chat is Noel Schwartz. I'll tell you a little bit more about her as we move forward. But I just wanted to introduce this call as why am I doing this? Episode 11 is super exciting. So I've been doing these calls, live chat on Facebook and LinkedIn for the last 11 weeks. And the reason why I do that is because I want to introduce amazing people to the people that follow me. I've had photographer, I've had fitness instructor, I've had a math teacher that turned into philosopher, and I've had, a lot of health practitioner. And I found that by sharing my knowledge with others and the knowledge of others, then we can grow together. So I would like to welcome you to the call and just say hello in the chat. And if you have any question as we move forward, even if the recording that you're listening, don't be shy to post your question in the chat. And we're always coming back and looking at the question because I'm getting notified when somebody write on my chat. And then we can answer you whichever way we can. We will also, at the end of the call, put in the chat the information how you can reach Noel. And then you can go from there also. And the reason why this call is called It's All Good, Luke is here for a chat, is because it's my favorite cup. It's my cup that I like to drink from. It's a nice big cup. And also, I like what it says. It's all good. That's my way of thinking in life. And whenever some things, a curveball comes my way, take a step back, take a few deep breaths and say, it's all good. There's always a gift in every situation that comes to us. We just have to have the patience and the courage to look into what's the gift into that. And sometimes we don't know the gift until a while ago. So never judge the situation that comes your way because it is what it is. There's nothing you can change about something that happened in the past, and you can only move forward with a positive attitude. Wonderful. So now let me introduce you my wonderful friend Noel and a little bit about herself. So Noel's life journey led her through marriage, motherhood, mystery symptom, mystery illness, divorce, loss, and back to health and feeling better than ever. Oh, I like that path. And to falling in love with wellness coaching. Yeah, I love wellness coaching too, in case nobody noticed before. Her journey back to health taught her that the way out of complex chronic health conditions that compromise our quality of life require a root cause perspective that includes body, mind, and soul. She believes that everyone can live and age with vitality. And it is her mission to help thousands of people to decrease and reverse their symptom and risk factor for chronic disease and live life on their terms. She is a certified health coach, life coach, and integrated health practitioner. My goodness. I feel like I'm reading my own bio to a point. We have so much in common. I remember when we had a chat a few while back, and we were like, yeah, we agreed on everything. So welcome, Noel. I'm so happy that you're here. And the topic of our call today is how to get sick, how we get sick and how we heal, a root cause perspective, because there's always a reason why we get sick. So before we get into the chat, I'd just like to have Noel say a little bit more perhaps about herself. If there's a little bit more you'd like to talk about, say who you are, where you're from, or if you just want to get into the conversation, go ahead. Just let me know where you're at or it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But I like the topic, like how we get sick and how we heal, a root cause perspective. And what you said also in your description is that complex chronic disease like diabetes, heart disease, and dementia and I would add cancer, are becoming increasingly prevalent in our culture. And I want people to feel empowered and turn this around. It is my mission to help thousands of people decrease and reverse their symptom and risk factor for chronic disease. I mean, this is amazing. I love you, you know? And so tell me, so how do people initially get sick? So what caused someone to get sick? Like some people will get like the flu every year and some other people don't. Some people will get headache and some people don't. So what caused people to be sick in the first place?
Yeah, so I think the main thing that I'm gonna be talking about is the complex chronic illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
which is different than I maybe it's not different than the flu. I don't know, but mainly I'm speaking about more of the complex chronic illnesses like diabetes and heart disease and dementia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, blood sugar
Mm-hmm.
imbalance,
Mm-hmm.
cholesterol, whatnot. And by the way, what you well, I'll probably share that later too. But what you offer in terms of support for people is so helpful for really helping avoid this happening. But that's down the road. Um, yeah. So you said how do we get sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if one way to put it is to think of it in terms of a like an analogy, like a rain barrel, and imagining our your all of our systems that help deal with stuff, all of our biological systems that help deal with all the stressors and stuff in our that we encounter. Think of that as a rain barrel. So
Okay.
picture a rain barrel, you know, that fills up with water, rainwater, and it performs its job completely well when as long as it's not spilling over, right? So imagine this rain barrel and imagine it holding. It's got like three levels of things going on here. The bottom layer is think of your genetics down there taking up the bottom space, and think of those as your genetic predispositions. You know,
Okay.
we're all predisposed to something, like it may be blood sugar imbalance or
Mm-hmm.
joint issues or neurological issues. For
Mm-hmm.
me, they're neurological issues, and then the middle part, the big part of the the barrel fills up with our things that stress our bodies out in our environment, things that we just encounter in daily life that our bodies typically handle, you know, like chemicals in the air we breathe, in the water we drink, in the food we eat, chemicals and heavy metals that we just encounter, medications, you know, that we just take for whatever reasons, short term or long term. Also,
Antibiotics and stuff like that, right?
what's that?
Antibiotics and
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're things that help, you know, things that can help us, but also our body needs to process them.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's filling up that rain barrel. And also things like biological and emotional stressors in our lives. Maybe things that stress our body out physically, like injuries, or
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so lots of those are environmental, all the things that, yeah, so the things we eat, drink, breathe, maybe not getting restorative sleep, maybe eating, fast food and whatnot. And then, okay, so that takes up the bulk of the space in the rain barrel. And then imagine maybe a triggering event of some sort, something that really taxes your body. Maybe it's a little bit or a lot, but if that rain barrel is pretty full, then it won't take much. It could be an injury, could be illness, could be loss, could be something really devastating or not, could be
Mm-hmm.
childbirth, something really stressful that your body has to take care of. And that triggering event could make the rain barrel spill over. And then that spillover we can think of as the symptoms we experience, you know, the things that are a problem that we're noticing when the rain barrel is the things, you know, what's in the rain barrel we don't notice because it's doing its job. When it spills over, we notice it and it's a problem. So the symptoms might be skin issues or joint pain or blood sugar imbalance or elevated blood pressure, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then down the road, eventually, if we don't intervene, they might turn into, a complex chronic disease like diabetes, heart disease, even dementia, and like you said, cancer too, in many cases.
What I hear when you say that is people often take that as, oh, well, high blood pressure. Yeah, doctor will give me a pill and that's just the way it is. Or diabetes. Oh, well, I'll take insulin for the rest of my life and that's just the way it is. People are taking this as, oh, well, it's just the way it is. But is it really true? Does it have to be like that?
Yeah, and for some people, that's the way they go, and that helps their symptoms, and that's great. But then for other people, either it's not okay with them because their health keeps going down and down the slippery slope, and they're like, wait a minute, this is not okay. Conventional medicine isn't taking care of all of it, or I want to be more integrative or more, holistic. Yeah, so sometimes it's okay until it's not okay. Right?
Because it's up to each individual, but then it's, there's, like, I've heard of people, like, by changing their diet and their lifestyle, they could eliminate diabetes, right? Like, it happens, but I don't tell anyone right now, stop taking diabetes, like your insulin, because, it's important. But there's holistic ways to reduce your high blood pressure, I imagine. There's holistic ways of reducing the amount of insulin that you need. And so now we talked about the how to be sick, but what can people do about it in order to get better and to start feeling, healthier, without necessarily maybe the drugs or having the drugs as a help, but they can help themselves too. So what can people do about that?
Yeah, yes, medications can be super helpful and even life-saving. Some people they can also have side effects. So some people want to either minimize them for their own personal reasons. And one thing that made such a big impression on me was, as I was healing my health, I ran across so many people who were really reversing some amazing, turning their health around in such amazing ways. I saw people reversing multiple sclerosis, reversing Alzheimer's. Dr. Dale Bredesen is reversing Alzheimer's and others as well, and doing clinical research around that, and has written some books around it, is doing the clinical. Also, Dr. Terry Walls she reversed her multiple sclerosis and is now helping other people do that as well, and doing clinical research. So, and we know how to improve and reverse diabetes type 2 in many cases, and heart disease. So in all of these cases, there's some common threads. I noticed the common threads are all of these people have. It's not a single pill, and it's not a single thing. It's usually four main pillars. It's food, it's nutrition, giving your body what it needs, to restore and repair and rebalance. It's moving your body. Doesn't have to be hard exercise. It's moving your body, physical activity. It's stress management, making sure that you have tools in place in your day to reduce, that the body's stress response, to keep, especially while you're eating, and so that you can get into that rest and digest state. And fourthly, restorative sleep. So everyone who is really restoring their health is implementing, rebalancing in those four areas. And while you're restoring those four areas, at the same time, you're also reducing your toxic load by focusing on those. And you're also working on your mindset piece, which I know is what you are super great with, supporting people with. That's such a huge component as well.
So they're all restoring body, mind, and soul, just like you mentioned. We mentioned about you earlier. It's like, it's not just one component. It's not just diet. It's not just exercise. It's not just you know, not taking the pills or whatever else, but it's a combination of creating a balance in the body and looking at what is for that person, because everybody's different, right? Like that's one thing that I notice is that there's no one thing fit all, once for all, right? Like it's one solution for all. Like it's, and that's what it's very important with, people like you that are taking care of looking at different areas of people's mind and body, right, to see what's happening and how they can get better. So um, so what are, like, if you had a client, so what are the steps that you would take with your clients in order for them to start making some changes and get better? So what can someone expect to see from a practitioner like you to make some changes and change their
Yeah.
life?
Yeah. To start, I uh, normally go over like what I call the wheel of health with people.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of like we draw a wheel and we look at together diet and nutrition, what that looks like for them, and exercise or movement, sleep, how their sleep is, um, the stresses in their lives, and how they're feeling emotionally, and kind of looking to see with each person where they think they are really, really strong, what their strengths are, and then where the opportunities for improvement are, and come up with some places where they can start really with some really simple but impactful steps to make a big difference in their lives, and help them come up with things to implement in each of these areas, one by one, that really fit into their lives, that will make a big difference for them. It's really important for them for it to be complementary to their lives, something that they enjoy, and that they can really manage in their lives. And there's also some helpful, like assessments that can be helpful whenever useful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So look at the wheel of health, look to see where the strengths are, where the opportunities are, and start making it really simple and easy and enjoyable.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think you said it here, make it enjoyable, because I know by experience that when people are getting into something, and if it's strenuous, and
Mhm.
difficult, then they don't want to do it, right? That's why they stay where they are. That's why people don't change. That's why there's a million book written on diet, because because there's not, like, people are there's got to be one solution that works with someone. And I think that's what having a coach like you is useful, is that people can explore a way of that works for them. And with your skill, then you can look at the approach, just like you mentioned, right? Like which approach would be better for them and what will help them move forward. And by doing the wheel of life, I think it's a great tool, because it allows people to really have in front of them. They might think that, oh, my sleep's not that great, or oh, my diet is okay, or whatever. But then when you put it all in front of them and you show them how do they feel, in regard
Mhm.
to those, then it makes a big difference in how they can start to make some changes. And people decide, right? They're the one that decide what they want to work on. And you're not, I don't feel that you're there to say you're going to do this and you're going to do that.
No, people, yes, I'm there to be like a guide and an encourager. Like they know what they want, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm there to help them get there.
Yeah.
It's like offering them, they're the driver, and I offer them like a map, and they get to decide how they get there, and I'm there to support them in the navigation, to help
Mm-hmm.
them find the ways that suit their lives and lifestyle and needs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
And who are your ideal clients? Like if you were to look for a client right now, who would be your ideal clients? So maybe some people will recognize themselves and say, yeah, I'd love to work with her. And hey, she wants to work with me. So who would you like to work with?
You know, a lot of people that I work with happen to be in midlife like me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the time when these things start happening, our bodies become less resilient.
Mm-hmm.
We've been, really taking care of so much for so long, and our bodies just start becoming less resilient. So usually it's women in midlife who are struggling with basically what describes it as feeling less resilient. You know, it could be
Mm-hmm.
aches and pains, it could be holding extra stubborn pounds, it could be feeling tired. You know, like what happened to my energy here? Having to work so hard to get through the day without taking breaks and naps and feeling just you didn't used to feel that way.
That nice
So
2 o'clock nap, right?
yeah, yeah, that
My fellow.
yeah, exactly. Or it takes more to stay up for things, for events and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have to be careful about our how we expend our energy. But when your body is in balance, um, you're you've got your energy back. You know, when your body is rebalanced, body, mind, and soul, it's not it's not fatigued, it's not in pain, it's not brain foggy,
Yeah.
um, and it feels. I just am um, such a believer in age is not a reason for decline and debilitation.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's what bothers me about our culture. Where society and doctors tell us, oh, well, it's
Well, you're at
illness.
that age. You're at that age. It's like,
Hmm.
no, no. I
No, no, no.
no, no.
No,
It's
I
just a
feel
number.
way, yeah. And so many people, when they get their bodies in balance, they feel way better than they did 10 or 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, cognitively, energetically, and it's all about feeling good.
Hmm. Yeah, that's super cool because, yeah, I totally agree with you in the fact that often I've had, like when I talk to people, whether it is through coaching or personal, and then they say, oh, it's just, I'm at that age, it's just age, or, like I'm getting old, or, and then I'm like, well, yes, you are. As long as you keep telling yourself that you're getting old, yes, you will be getting old. And I always refer to Henry Ford quote, like, whether you believe it's true, it will be true as long as you believe it. Whether you're right or you're wrong, right?
Hmm.
It will be whatever you believe in. I've mixed it up, but you get the idea, right?
Hmm.
Like whatever you tell your mind, well, that's what's going to happen. So and it's the same thing with your coaching, right? Like
Hmm.
if you tell yourself, oh, well, it's age. And yeah, of course I have to take those pills because I'm at that age. That's the age where we start to have high blood pressure. And that's that age where this and that. And yeah,
Yeah.
well, I can take Tylenol every day or Advil every day. And then, that removed the ache and pain when I woke up in the morning. But it's like, what if there was no ache and pain when you wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
What if there was no high blood pressure? How would you feel without the medication? It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. But it's to break, like it's like there's a shell in people's mind, a lot of people, and it's to take a shovel and break that shell and show them the light shining through, right? And
Hmm.
say that's possible. You can experience that. You can wake up without the ache and pain. You can have a full night's sleep, and feel refreshed. You can, not wake up 5 times during the night because of, insomnia or whatever that is. So I think
That's a
that's,
big one.
yeah, lack of sleep is
Hmm.
huge. Like for me, I sleep like a log. I just have to go to bed early because I have a lovely cat that wakes me up usually around 5:30. So I have the choice to keep the door open or keep the door closed. I want to keep the door open, so I go to bed
Hmm.
early. It's a choice. If I go to bed at 11 or midnight, well, I get 5 hours sleep. But if I go to
Hmm.
bed at 9, then I have, 8 hours sleep.
Yeah.
So yesterday I was in bed at 8:45, because
wow.
I wanted to have a really good night's sleep, and I woke up, home by myself before the cat. I woke up the cat.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I say, hey, wake up. Aren't you awake yet? So
Yeah.
I stayed in bed, and but for a little bit. But then I woke up and I felt refreshed. I was not like, oh no, cat, go away. I want to sleep some more. Like
Yeah.
if you go to bed before 9 o'clock, of course, 8 hours sleep is plenty. And and then I slept super well. But I know my body, I know my system, right? Like some people might tell me, well, you always, like so tired at 9 o'clock. Well, it's not that I'm so tired at 9 o'clock. It's just that I know tomorrow morning when I wake up, so I have to go to bed to have the proper sleep.
Yeah, it's partly about following your own intuition, about knowing, hey, I know I can feel better. How can I get this done? And even if society is telling you, the opposite, or oh, just take a pill, or oh, but about what you're saying, it's also about conscious choice, and that's what you're doing. You are
Mhm.
making that conscious choice to Mm, yeah, to find a way to get the proper sleep that enables you to enable your cat waking you up if
It's
she or
part
he
of my
does.
life, right? It's part of my reality. So I know that I cannot sleep until 7 in the morning. I know, like, regardless, like I'll be awakened, and I
Yeah.
love being awakened by my cat, like I
Yeah.
mean, it's, it's like, oh, meow, meow, hi, mom, like pet me. I miss you all night.
Yeah.
And for me, it's part of what's important to me. So everybody has to find their own, like evaluating your values, evaluating what's important to you, and then look at your life, and is your value are being aligned with your action? Are your value,
Mm.
are you working towards your value? If your value is family, but you work 70 hours a week, unless you work with your family, there's something wrong, right? Like you got to work in alignment, and that's the body, mind, and soul. Like it's all working together, right?
That's exactly right. I think that's one of the places where having that support of a coach and a guide can be super helpful, is helping you stay focused on what you want
Mm-hmm.
and why you want it, and keeping you in alignment with what's really important with your values, as you just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy for us to go off track and to make easy autopilot decisions that I guess that are not in alignment with what we really want, because we've just developed some habits that served us at
Yeah.
one time and now they no longer do. I think that's where it can be helpful to have like a health, wellness, or life coach to help you stay on course with
Yeah.
developing the new habits that are in alignment with what you want.
It's almost like servicing your life compass, right? Like you have a
Mhm.
compass, and maybe when you're getting blurred life, and you don't know where you're going, and you're getting sick and all that, it's like your compass is getting out of alignment. So the coach is there to recompass your life, and to really put you in alignment with what you want to live and experience in your life. What are your goals? What do you want to be in 5 years, right? Like, what's your retirement look like? Like these
Yeah.
are big existential questions, right? That people don't think about. They work, 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 and then come 65 and they say, oh, can I stretch it for a couple more years? And then they have the ache and pain, and they have their grandchildren growing, and they can't run with them. And it's like, oh my goodness, like I wish I could run with them and go do things with them or babysit them more often because I love them, but they tire me up so much, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Midlife is a great time to like reevaluate and to
Because
yeah.
so that when they get there, when they get in their 60s, that they have made choices now, in their 40s, 50s, that can align them in a path of being more positive and healthy, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people talking about wanting to keep up with the grandkids or and this is their opportunity to travel and have adventures with family, with friends, with
Yeah.
partners,
Yeah.
and they want to feel good and enjoy it. There's a lot of life left.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's not like I remember when I was a kid, like somebody that lives to be, in their 70s, they were, oh, he had a good life, you know, like
Hmm. Hmm.
he lives a good long life, but now people that are in their 70s, they're just getting started.
Yeah.
I know like, two, three, four people that are close to 80 or 80, a little bit plus, and they live their life. They're like out every day, and it's even like one man is still working because he loves to meet people and go. He doesn't do like a 10-hour day, but he does, renovation here and there and go help, people, and a little bit of landscaping, and it keeps him outside and active and moving the body, moving the mind, resolving little problem. I mean, that's how people stay young, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's a time in your life when you get to, I mean, who knows? Sky's the limit. You can start a new business. You can volunteer. You can travel. Yes, to any decade. Absolutely,
Yeah,
any
yeah,
decade
yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah. So, do you have any takeaway tips, things that people should walk away with that they can maybe start on their own and see how things can feel, or maybe contacting you? Like, what's your takeaway?
Oh my gosh. A few things come to mind. Like number
Mm,
one, trust yourself. Like society sort of encourages this one way, right? But really trust yourself. If you're tuning into your own intuition about what's right for you, and that yes, you can become more resilient. I think it's super important to really tap into that, into what you know about yourself.
mhm.
Um, and mindset wise, I think that really becoming curious, like more curiosity, less judgment. I think that's really, really expansive right there. And
Mhm.
and in terms of like nutrition, if that's a place where people want to make some shifts, because that really makes a huge impact for so many people. It just is. Everyone who heals their health, from my perspective, everyone who does it eats includes more whole foods, including
Mhm.
plants, and fewer carbohydrates or fewer processed foods. Let's put it that way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, yeah. So I think so everyone who heals their health does some version of that.
Yeah.
More, and to me that seems pretty simple, and it can look a lot of different ways for different people. But
Yeah.
more whole foods, fewer processed foods.
Mhm. Yeah. It makes a huge difference because there's so much additive and things that you don't even know how to pronounce in packaged food that,
Hmm.
if you want corn, well, in the summer, buy corn in a cob. If you like
Hmm.
corn all year round, buy a lot of corn in a cob and chop it up and put it in the freezer, because I did that one year. I bought like a dozen of corn, and
Hmm.
then I cut it, and then put it in a tight zip freezer bag, and then I put it in the freezer, and then I had fresh corn, fresh frozen, but fresh corn, that I know where it came from all year round, and I thought it was pretty cool, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So taking advantage of foods in season is a great way to do
Yeah,
it because that's when it tastes really
the
fantastic.
best, yeah.
Hmm.
And also um, like just yeah, avoiding packages, like if you want,
Hmm.
pasta sauce. I know it's easy to buy the one in a can and all that, but making it yourself, it makes such good sense. I know it's time consuming, people, I know, but make the time, like buying those muffin at Superstore, well, you can, or at Costco or whatever, you can go home and make your own muffin with fresh flowers and great ingredient that you know exactly what's in there without preservative or anything like that. It's such a
Yeah,
big difference.
absolutely. It feels daunting to think about changing what's working well because we're busy, right? We're busy, and many of us need. If we cook, we've got our routines already, and if we don't cook, we're like, hey, I don't have time for that. But it really, if you want to feel better, if you want your resilience back, there are some ways to make eating whole foods
Mm-hmm.
quick and easy. I know that because I have been through that time in my life when I was in my kitchen all the time, making and enjoying making amazing food. But right now I'm not there. And so I
Mm-hmm.
still want whole foods, and I
Yeah.
really want it to be quick and easy. So
Yeah.
it just takes a little bit of work on the front end to try to find some.
Preparation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say bonjour, Micheline. Oui, je te parle. I have a friend, Micheline. She's an elderly woman, and she's so supportive. And Micheline, t'es tellement tu me supportes tellement, je t'apprécie énormément. Et je suis fière de ta santé et de la façon dont tu te portes. Et merci d'être là. Because Micheline, she's always listening, she's always commenting. And she's an elderly woman and she's full of vitality. She does Facebook Live and she's amazing. She's absolutely good for you, Micheline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're here. And it's just the way we were talking, like even as you grow older, just keep up with what's going on. Don't say, that stuff, it's for young kids, it's too complicated. Micheline is a great example of applying different things, trying new things, and staying young and vibrant. And I think she's absolutely amazing. And that's, exactly what we were talking about today. And she doesn't speak a whole lot of English, but she's always here. She's always supporting me. So I think that's super cool. One day I might have to find a French person to interview and do a French interview.
Yes.
I think that could be fun too, for sure. So how can people reach you? And do you have like a little takeaway for them or something like that?
Yeah. My website is the best place to go. It's www.noelschwartz.com.
Okay.
Do you want me to spell that or?
It's her name. You see her name right there on the screen. So Noel Schwartz.com. So you know how to do it, right? And I'll put it in the chat also.
Yes. And so my social media links are there at the top and on the top right. And also on the top right is the little button and it says Sugar Solutions Gift. And that is just a little guide that contains 7 simple solutions to curb sugar cravings. I am not about deprivation and sacrifice. So these are ways to help, we're all, who doesn't have sugar cravings? I absolutely did for most of my life. I don't now, but I had them probably worse than anybody. I've eaten my lifetime supply, that's for sure. And it's not about deprivation. It's not about sacrifice. So these are some ways. So just 7 simple ideas and ways to curb sugar cravings and alternatives. So if they go there. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that's available. And at this, if they don't mind being on my email list, they'll get that. And you can opt out of the email list too if you want. I don't send very much at all. Yeah. And if food or nutrition is not, or sugar solutions are not your thing, I do have a guide for 15 energy optimizers. So that's also available. If you reach out to me, I will send that to you.
And her email will be in the chat also, but it's as easy as her email, as her website is noel@noelschwartz.com. So how easy is that? So you can find that in the chat. And I'm so happy that you came and spent like, I don't know, an hour, half an hour with me, 40 minutes. I think it's super cool. I've learned a lot and I feel also at the same time we have so much in common. I mean, we could
Mhm.
co-coach, people through life because we seem to have walked a lot of the similar path in our life that led us to be, amazing coaches, which is super cool. And
I'm so happy to be here with you, Denise. I love talking with you, and you're amazing.
oh, thank you. And next week, we're going out of Canada. We're going out of the US. We actually flying all the way to the other side of the world, to Australia. I have the honor to interview Chris Wilder. I know she told me how to pronounce it, and I'll screw it up because I don't have the paper in front of me. It's Waldebor. And I know I did it wrong, but forgive me, Chris. And I'll practice it over the week. And she's in Australia, and she's been coaching royalty. She's been coaching a whole bunch of interesting people. I can't wait to introduce her to everyone. And I look forward to reading your comment in the chat. Please, whenever you listen to the replay, even if you're on YouTube, because this is going to go on YouTube, or even now on LinkedIn and Instagram, LinkedIn and Facebook, put your comment in YouTube. You can also put comment at the bottom, and just share your thought and say hello. It's always a pleasure to hear about people that are listening to our chat. So thank you so much, Noel. Thank you, everyone. And Noel, stay here. We'll say goodbye to everyone, and we'll talk to you soon, everyone. Bye.